control. Gravity is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and it is a fine good evening here in the Paranormal Portal studios. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Check, check, check. Oh, hey. Brent got me this really new kind of mic. What the heck was that already?
It said I died.
What?
I swear to God, it just said I died.
No.
It did.
No.
It never says two words.
It said I died.
It said I died.
No way.
Swear to God, that's what it says.
Did you guys hear that?
It said I died,
Oh,
ladies
my
and gentlemen.
God.
The ghost application that we're running here, we always run it on these Mayhem episodes, and
it's a long time said something.
We're certainly sorry that you died, but welcome to the show.
As long as you don't mess with
please be kind and gentle, and don't break anything.
Don got a new mic,
yeah,
which was what I was about to say. I was like, oh boy.
Right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, the ghost app is talking, and it said I died.
I died.
Now for months that thing sat there and didn't say a word. Now
it says two words.
And for the first time ever, it actually strung two words together. Never heard that before. Weird. Is it paranormal? Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? But this is the Paranormal Portal, so it's the right place for this kind of stuff to happen. So, hope you guys are having a great day. We are moving into some beautiful weather tomorrow.
Oh God, I hope so.
It's gonna be beautiful. That's all I'm saying. But we have been hard at it here.
Oh goodness, yes.
Don and I have been working really hard. We've got a big announcement to make, and I think we're just gonna make it tonight.
But you have to wait until the end of the show.
But you have to wait till the end of the show.
Yeah, that way they watch the
entire show. It's a cliffhanger, ladies and gentlemen.
Don's alien friend has a friend. Alien hand has a friend.
That's right. Don is the king of cliffhangers.
Her name is Crescent.
I'm not even sure what that means.
Jim might.
Okay. All right. But we have been working really hard on this, and it's a very exciting development for us and for the Paranormal Portal. And we'll be announcing that later in the show, so stick around. But tonight we're just going to have some fun with you. Some Paranormal Mayhem is cooking on the stove right now. So, and that just means we're going to talk about a lot of different things. But the call-in board is always open, ladies and gentlemen. Special thank you once again to Deb last night. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And we had a fantastic show doing readings. Just a great participation. Lots of you called in, and I hope those of you that didn't will at least look at the opportunity for Deb to give you a private reading. She's really amazing. We are, what should I say? What are we, Don? I just went blank there. I was going to say something, and it was just
well,
gone.
We're certainly glad that we're here, and we're certainly glad that, of course, all of you are here with us. Hacker, don't leave. No, this is a live show, not a catch it tomorrow and fast forward to the big announcement. Don't do that. That's
not even nice. We're just trying to boost the suspense.
Yeah, exactly.
it's just something we're really excited about, and it is a great opportunity for the show. It's created a lot more for us to do, but it's a wonderful thing. So we'll let the cat out of the bag. It might not be the end of the show. It might be somewhere in the middle of the show.
Brent's not really good when he makes a decision, like telling somebody something. He really doesn't wait very long.
Yeah, I'm not real good at that part.
So he's probably going to tell you
I'm
about now.
I'm the kid that used to peek in the Christmas presents, ladies and gentlemen. I became like a present ninja. That's all I'm going to say. I could unseal Scotch tape on any kind of wrapping paper, open the package, check it out, rewrap it, and nobody would ever know.
I was worse than you. Because people on Christmas
well, there's no
morning,
doubt about that, but go ahead.
Christmas morning, people would put things in my lap, and I'd go, "Oh, it's a," and I'd be right almost every time.
Oh, nice, very good. Yeah, that's pretty good. But why do you think I should let it out?
Sure.
Why not? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the big announcement for the portal.
Woohoo! Dun, dun.
Hold your applause, please.
Dun, dun.
Quiet on the set.
Quiet on shit.
The big announcement is that we've been working in negotiations with Revolver Podcast, and we've come to an agreement, and we will be launching a Paranormal Portal podcast that'll be hopefully available on iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Google Play, and so many more, podcast outlets.
Yep.
So we are going to be in the podcast universe, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very exciting, and we couldn't be more happy for the opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
And it's coming, going to be launching this next week on the podcast platforms. But we are teamed up with Revolver Podcast, and it's an amazing company and fantastic people.
We're going global again.
We're going. we're going. Yes, yeah. So it will be happening this week. So I'm just really excited, and we've been working really hard creating new episodes for the podcast, and so it'll be all different, all new material. There may be some stuff that's familiar to you, but these are new episodes, and we are absolutely excited. So look for the Paranormal Portal podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure to subscribe. If you're a fan of the show, you're definitely going to want to be a part of it, because it's not just, another version of what you're watching now.
So, Hacker says a podcast isn't, we got to sign up or buy something. No,
I mean, you just go to wherever you may download podcasts and download podcasts.
And that's a cool thing too, though, is you can download it, and therefore you can listen to it at any time and without having to connect, to YouTube. So you can download it into your phone or your whatever your app is that you use and listen to it on the way to work.
Yep, we can be played wherever you can play any MP3s.
Portal everywhere.
Portal everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Doc.
Does that make us portable?
We're a portable portal. So thanks so much, Doc. I appreciate that. Doc's in the TFR chat.
Yes, he is. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc. Hey, Lucky. Hey, and who's here? It's me, Lucky. TFR Wookie's in there. Good to see you. Doc Kayak, Chris Steiner, Sphinx One Links. You were in there. Free Energy 13 and Annie A are in there. So it's quite a nice crowd in the TFR chat room. What do we got cooking in YouTube right now?
YouTube, we've got Ann and Blacktree. Brian, what's up, Duke?
The Duke.
Cade Shipley, how you doing? Gemini, such a sweetie. Hacker, stay with us, buddy. You're with us till the end from now on. It doesn't matter. I got Jim Mount. Nice to see him in here. Many Musings, our friend that popped in. What was it? Oh, the other day. Awesome person. Thank you. Molly Gordon's here. Molly, yay!
Molly. I chatted with her the other day on Facebook.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I miss Molly. She hasn't been around for a long time.
I miss Molly too, but not that one. No, I missed that one too. Really's here. Renee, our friend Renee. Sphinx Silinx, Zero Mind, and that guy at the bottom would be the double Aether Archive guy.
There we go.
Whoever that is.
And more are piling in all the time, I see.
Absolutely.
So that's good.
Hit that like, share, subscribe, and show your love.
Spread the love. Spread the love like a rash.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry. All
Doc,
right.
I got this funny rash. When'd you get it? I was listening to a podcast last night.
That just sounds so wrong.
I know.
That is so.
We're infecting the world.
That's like multi-level wrong. That's a labyrinth of wrong.
Don't follow that rabbit hole.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's with a heavy heart that I have to announce it. Lorraine Warren did pass away. If you're not familiar with that news, she was an absolute icon in the paranormal community. Her and her husband Ed were so involved in so many things, and in fact, you can't hardly go to the movie theater anymore without seeing some portrayal of one of their cases, whether it's The Conjuring, Annabelle, or there's so many of them, and they were involved as well with the Amityville horror, I think, way back when, and so many others, and of course they've got the haunted doll. That is it's a Raggedy Ann doll, believe it or not. It's not the doll you would see in those movies. It's an old Raggedy Ann doll. But it is allegedly so incredibly haunted that it is kept bound in a case at all times, unless you're Zach Baggins and decide to grab a feel when you got a chance. I'm not putting the guy down.
No.
He's definitely a very interesting guy, and I like it.
He's got his spot in the pantheon.
Oh, for sure he does. He does. The Ghost Adventures, he and Nick and Aaron, and now Jay Wasley and Billy as well have done a great job with the whole Ghost Adventures thing, and Ghost Hunters, etc. But Lorraine and Ed really kind of put it all on the map. They kind of carved the trail, kind of like Art Bell did for Paranormal Radio.
Yes.
I mean, Ed and Lorraine Warren were the people that pretty much brought paranormal investigating into the mainstream. Not that it didn't happen before them, but they were the iconic figures of that. Of the movement of paranormal investigating. So, of course, I know that she was pretty advanced in age, and I'm sure she's earned her rest, with all that they did and dealt with. And sometimes they were controversial, but I mean, you can't hardly be in the limelight without being controversial.
Well, and she was the psychic, the empath of the whole team. And so she was affected a lot, in my opinion, a lot more in that kind of sense, with the psychic, stuff. She was a lot more affected than Ed, but Ed was her grounding, I believe,
Yeah, I think so.
And so, she took her own beating in that sense, and she survived it all.
She did. They did. And there's still, I don't know what they're going to do now, but of course the Warrens have a museum full of haunted items. So while Zach Baggins has one and John Zaffis has one, they were the progenitors of all of that. They were the first ones that started collecting this stuff and creating a space where people could go see those items. Just fantastic. In fact, I think they had a priest on staff, like full time, continuing to pray and bind these items over and over and over. So it was just a really cool thing. But it is sad. It is tragic to lose those lights.
Yes.
But there just have to be a new light to come up behind her. Keep shining, whoever that will be.
Gotta hold that darkness back.
But I just wanted to take a moment on the show and honor her, and of course Ed too had passed quite a while ago. But they forged the path that many people are wandering now. So. But it all has to come and go, I guess. We all have that journey to make eventually. Right, Don?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be an eternal rest for me. I hope it's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Now everybody's heard about the Notre Dame fire, of course.
Yep. Hey, did you know nobody really knew what was going to happen, but Quasimodo had a hunch? Oh. I know I'm horrible.
I can only rub my chin and work my way through that.
See, I got to get those in there without your knowing, because otherwise you'll make fun of me.
Probably would have muted you if I knew that was coming. But... So the fire happened, and many people believe they saw the image of Jesus appear in the flames of the cathedral.
Right.
There is an image of this that was It was image of Jesus. Yeah, there's an image of it. Now, this is coming from the singularfortean.com, who did the report, and a gentleman by the name of Tobias Wayland did this report just on the 18th, as a matter of fact. So I will put this image up on screen just briefly because, I think it's a whole lot of matrixing and pareidolia, but
Right.
I don't know if it gives people hope and it gives them a feeling of peace to see that image in there, then by all means see that image in there. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
I haven't seen that picture, but now that I'm looking at it,
Yeah, I mean it does. I mean, it's not hard to find. They give you one of those fancy red circles.
those big red circles
Just
that
to
say,
make
"Look
sure."
right here."
No, I'm not going to talk about the article too much because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, when people see tragic things, of course they want to find comfort in them or
Right.
find meaning, and of course seeing the apparition or the image of Jesus in a horrible event like that, I guess is comforting. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. There is the image in question.
So if that's in fact is what people say it is, a manifestation of Jesus or whatever that is, does that mean that was supposed to happen?
I don't know, or if it was just showing that the peace and love of God is there even in those tragedies. I don't know.
No.
I mean, however you choose to visualize that, I guess, or represent that in your heart is up to you. But I think it's a lot of things can be seen in flames. Like up here, it looks like it could be a devil head. There's the horns, there's a snout, there's a mouth. I mean, you can find images in flames just like you can find images in clouds. I've seen some amazing clouds. And, one of them even looked like a hand up in the sky, like the hand of God was about to swat me like a tick, It was like right up there. It was like a full mitt kind of thing. And the clouds looked like a hand. But I don't really believe that it was the hand of God I was witnessing. It was just, what my mind saw in that pattern. And I think that these kind of things are very similar. Now, I don't mean to take that away from people. If they choose to believe in those kind of things, that's cool. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's wonderful. And I
Have your faith in what you have faith in.
right, exactly. But I think it's certainly not something I could put forward as any kind of proof of any kind
Right.
of spiritual visitation or such. But what did Duke say?
He says, he says, "Where's Quasimodo at? At a homeless shelter?"
Too soon, Duke. Too soon. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
You never know. He's probably up in an attic somewhere. That's just how he rolls. But I thought that was interesting anyway. And that's a good, at the very least, it's a great representation of seeing things in
Yeah.
what would otherwise be random patterns.
Right.
Our brains just have a desire to do that.
Yeah, patterns.
Yes.
They seek patterns.
Yep.
Patterns.
That is what they
We
seek.
are the people of patterns.
So, now this is interesting. So apparently, going through these articles quickly on here, I really like this site. They do such a nice job. But witness describes the craziest experience with UFOs on Karakar Beach in New Zealand. I think we got some New Zealand listeners, don't we?
Yeah.
I know there's
got a few.
one or two out there, or three, or maybe more. But yeah, very cool. What they're talking about, poster to Reddit's New Zealand subreddit shared a story recently involving terrifying UFO sighting that took place at the end of last month on New Zealand's Karakar Beach. According to the report, last weekend on Sunday, I had the craziest experience at Karakar Beach. I'm just assuming that's how it's pronounced. I'm here looking for answers, but also to see if anyone else has these strange lights in the sky or has seen these strange lights. We're on the beach, my boyfriend and I, and saw two bright orange red lights on the far on the other end of the beach. I pointed them out and said that they might be helicopters looking for someone. In a matter of seconds, one of the lights started moving at full speed in a straight line, no more than 200 meters above the water, until directly in front of us. That's got to be spooky. The UFO had changed from having a red light to a bright white light, somewhat like a torch, sitting directly shining directly on us. We presumed it was a helicopter with a spotlight, and there was no sound at all coming from it. It was so steady and barely moving, it stayed like that and followed us every so slightly as we paced a few meters forward and back to see if it would follow. So it doesn't sound like it's a very big thing, right, Don?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's if it's, I don't know. It almost sounds like one of Jim's orb things, right?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Right.
Or the galaxy.
Or,
The galaxy on Orion's belt.
yeah, exactly. The cat.
This big.
Right. After about 2 minutes, or what I think, we couldn't tell time at this point, it moved away very quickly, flying incredibly fast with perfect precision until disappearing behind a mountain. That really does sound like what Jim describes. Mm-hmm. So if they were yellow, reddish, or orange and red, that means they were on a kill mission, right? According to what Jim has shared with us.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Mount, who's been a guest on the show a few times.
As a matter of fact, he says right now, Orbs searching for unwanted intruders.
Okay, right. And
That's exactly
Jim
what
is in the
yeah.
chat room, but he shared with us that he is a contactee as well, and he shared with us that the color of these orbs has a meaning. Blue being friendly. I don't remember them all, but I remember red is like bad news,
bad juju.
Yeah, like they're looking for something, and basically they patrol the Earth looking for aliens that shouldn't be here.
Undesirables.
Right, undesirables. And
are they looking for illegal aliens?
Yeah, but let's not go there on the show, please. But they could have been looking for a craft. Now, apparently, these little orb-like craft are surrounded by a living plasma, according to Jim, and they color code based upon what they're up to. And Jim, I don't remember what all the. Do you remember what the colors were done?
There was blue, green, orange, red.
Right. I mean, I know colors, but I mean, what did they mean?
Well, I think the green was like kind of a healing. They were like, repairing.
Right. Okay.
That kind of thing.
Right. No, red was bad.
Right.
I think yellow
was kind of like just leave us alone. We're busy.
Yeah, like they're looking for something. Yeah, I mean he has a whole breakdown to it, and I'm sorry I don't remember, but it's just right now I'm having trouble remembering my own name just because of the many things going on. But I think that's very interesting.
Yes.
But white is normal mode. Okay. Jim says white is normal mode. So
they blend in with clouds and such, so you can't see them.
Right, maybe that's a good point. I mean, of course, if they're at night, then they're going to stand out. But yeah, blue is friend mode. So if you see a blue orb, ladies and gentlemen, that means they're being friendly.
Don't touch them.
Yeah, well, apparently they're surrounded by this living plasma that destroys anything that comes in contact with it, according to Jim. So don't touch them even if they come close. Yeah, it's really, really wild. But again, red is not good. So they saw these orange-red ones. So they were looking for something, according to the information Jim has shared with us.
Intergalactic place. Pull over.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe they were scanning these people. Like, are these what we're looking for? We're getting readings over here.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, Jedi mind trick. Just give them a Jedi mind trick and they'll take off. No. I'm just teasing. But it is really cool. And I thought that information was, he says yellow, something is detected as a possible threat. Yeah. Okay. But I thought this information was really cool because it's the first time that any of that had a meaning that I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of, I've heard of multicolored orbs being seen that, not like the natural ones, that look like UFOs. These orbs look like UFOs. They're not to be confused with the strange spirit orbs that are moving, through forests and stuff and through people's houses or in front of my face from time to time.
Not to be confused with the pledge. the enemies of pledge.
Enemies of pledge.
Pledge. Just.
Oh yeah, dust. I got it. Boom, got it. Sorry. Yeah.
Duke says they're TRB 3Bs, black mantas.
I don't know if the orbs are though. I mean the TR3Bs are triangular shaped.
Yeah, triangles are reverse. Oh, yeah. So I'm sorry. He's replying to D that says triangles are reverse engineered from here.
Right,
yes,
right.
Yeah.
So very cool though. Green is healing mode, Jim says as well. Red, search and destroy. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So when you hear or see or hear stories of people seeing these orbs, I think it's cool.
He also says or cleaning biological hazards from the air.
For green?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I wish they would get some serious green cooking and clean up this mess. All that crap they're spraying up there.
Randall, no, keep that to yourself. He's talking about blue orbs.
Oh no. Oh no. That's called the low hanging fruit right there, Randall.
Yeah, it's just
But
blue fruit.
bump.
Anyhow, so
yeah, I think it's interesting though, but a very cool story, and it's really neat to see those colors mentioned in these reports, but yet having a possible explanation for them.
Right.
What are they doing? Well,
Right.
that's allegedly what they're doing, is looking for a problem that they've detected. Very cool. And we have Jim to thank for that, because I've never heard that before. Not that I don't ever profess to be any kind of established researcher of the UFO stuff. I mean, having seen one, it's a foregone conclusion to me that they're here, but I'm not usually looking into the phenomena too much, because until they land and get out and tell us what they're doing, most of the time we just have no idea. But then someone like Jim comes along and at least offers a narrative, then I think that's really powerful.
Right.
So did you have anything you wanted to get into?
Oh, I've been getting into it. What you've been talking about. So I like I like you finding these.
Well,
so I will look for something.
I like you doing
appropriate.
everything. All right, now here's another one. Now, for those of you that are fans of the Mothman, or at least intrigued by the Mothman phenomena, I guess we'll get into this on the other side of the break, ladies and gentlemen. Time flies when you're into some mayhem, so don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages. Time to pay the bills. welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Paranormal Portal. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Are y'all buckled in? Keep your hands inside the car as it is in motion, as stumps have been known to form within the portal. Stump, get it? Cut off hand. Sorry. In my head, that was absolutely hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. But we are doing Hey, Don, guess what?
No, and it's standing right behind me again, isn't it?
No, actually, it was just a moment, but that was detecting a ghost presence, apparently, ladies and gentlemen. So we got a word right off the launch at the show. It said, "I died," which I've never seen this application ever put more than one word together at a time. That was 2 words.
Monosyllabic.
Monosyllabic. But now there's apparently a presence.
Just passed right through.
Yeah, it's,
Stumps in here.
it's almost just like our listeners. No, I'm just kidding. You guys love us and stick with us all the time. You guys are amazing. It was funny in my head.
Hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Ghost didn't like the stump joke. When you said that, I thought of the movie The Hand from like the 70s.
No, right, yeah. The Thing from the Addams Family.
No, it was called The Hand.
Well, no, I mean the Thing from the Addams Family.
There's a fan theory that the hand is actually Thing from the Addams Family.
Oh, right.
That was his Genesis story.
Which came first, the movie or the TV show?
It doesn't matter because we had 3 prequels before we had the original story of Star Wars. So why does it matter?
Okay, I got you.
It's the X-Men origin story.
Right, gotcha. Okay, I'm catching up. I'm a little slow out of the gate, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll be by about 9 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to be golden. I'll be like really on top of it. I don't know, but we're doing a Mayhem show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and basically what the Mayhem shows are is they're just a grab bag of paranormal topics that we like to discuss, and we just look around and see what's fun to talk about. But if you want to be a part of the discussion, please feel free to call in. The call-in board is open. The phone number for the portal is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. And so you can call in and become part of the discussion. You can become part of the mayhem. You can become another asset of the show. How you doing, Don?
Doing good. I want to give a shout out to Hacker. He's having he's had a setback, and that's all it is it's a setback. You will find what you're supposed to do. Yep. And you just need to keep having faith. You make posts all the time, and you just have to believe that your faith, your whatever your belief is, will provide for you. Just hang in there, bud. You're going to find something. Maybe you need to move to Seattle.
Become part of the neighborhood.
Well, no, not my neighborhood.
No, the neighborhood, the whole region.
Oh, the region. Yes, very much closer to us. But no, I understand he knows a lot of people in Seattle with pretty good bars, from what I understand.
Oh, very cool.
But I gotta say, Seattle's kind of saturated with alcohol. He says, "Oh God, no." Yeah, and Gemini Moon says, "Step back, connect with your infinite self, then you'll move forward with that at 120%."
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Well, very cool. Yeah, we're rooting for you, brother. Just hang in there. But let's see what other paranormal mayhem we can get into. What was I gonna do before something was going on? The Mothman.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay.
Let's talk about this now. So this is coming from the singular40andagain.com. Not again.com, but singular40and.com. Again, I love this site. These guys do a great job, but it says, Ghost Hunter reports collision with miniature Mothman near Wittenberg, Wisconsin. A miniature one. So I guess the regular Mothman is 6+ feet tall, or is he in the 5 to 6 foot range? Or I don't know either. I
never got interested in it, but I'm sure we'll get told in just a moment here.
Well, let's find out what they're talking about here, because I'm not sure what a miniature Mothman is, but that's kind of creepy. So Kane Adams with Fort Valley Ghost Hunters contacted the Singular Fortean Society on Friday to alert them of a bizarre experience he'd had the night before at about 1 a.m. So this is actually news that they are breaking themselves. It's not just something they're reporting on. So very cool. So he says, last night while driving semi, the weather was sleet mixture, and it was about 34 degrees. Close to Wittenberg, I got freaked out. It was dark outside. I was coming down one of the off-ramps to stop for a soda. Something fell out of the sky that was really odd, and I can't quite get the image out of my mind. First off, let me say it wasn't a bird or a bat, but this thing hit my window and mostly splattered on it.
Wow.
I saw it plain as day stuck to my window. I describe it as a small fairy, if you believe in fairies, or possibly, I kid you not, a miniature Mothman. It had small wings, and again, it wasn't a bat in the snow. It had long, stretched out legs that came down below its body and had arms and fingers. Wow. That is really creepy. I hope he saved it.
Yeah, where's the
I mean, it's one thing to make a claim, but if it hit your windshield, just scrape it into a baggie.
Yeah, habeas
and
corpus.
in the freezer, yeah.
Jeez.
Don's got a freezer.
Don's got a 5-family freezer.
That's
Plus,
right.
He's got a couple uprights too.
And he said, I was wide awake and I wasn't drowsy. I was going to take a picture, but it slid off the window, leaving this massive gooey stain on my window that took several attempts with washer fluid. So he's doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
He should at least scraped up the gooey stuff then. He said, I remember it was all black and I didn't see any eyes.
Well, that would explain why it hit you.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. It couldn't see the big semi coming. I was overwhelmed with the long legs and arms and small fingers. Those that know me and my team know that we don't put false or tall tales on this site that are not true. I can tell you no trees were overhanging the highway and no bugs were out in the weather. And the stain it left was so intense, it smeared the whole window. I also know what a flying squirrel looks like, and it wasn't that either. It's still imprinted in my eyes. I would stop. If something weird like that hits your window, it's smashed. You know it's dead. You have the opportunity to capture some kind of specimen. Stop. Figure out where it is on the highway. Get a flashlight if it's night, whatever. But I mean, if it's a truly a fantastical creature, wouldn't you gather it up?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't understand but I mean, he obviously had to pull over in the first place because he had to scrape the fairy guts off there. So why don't you walk back? The 300 feet that you took to stop.
Right.
I mean, come on.
What an opportunity that was just blown. I mean,
he is definitely not.
And then he's actually got the gooey parts all over his truck. And he just rinses that away, too. It's like, wow, you did everything wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Why is my chat disconnected?
I am not sure.
I don't either.
What is that hum? Is it just in the headphones?
Yeah, it's in the headphones because I don't hear it live.
You hear it, though, right?
I do hear it.
Yeah. That's new and unusual.
I thought it was the helicopter there for a minute, but
no, that's a weird static.
Maybe it's
doesn't sound like a big wasp, like a huge Mothman kind of thing.
Oh no!
I mean, honestly, it kind of has that hum of like hummingbird wings or something.
Okay, I'm gonna refresh.
Wait, no, it stopped.
I hit refresh.
I
wonder if it was my fan on my computer because it's done that. I have no internet. No, I have no internet.
Weird. I know I paid the bill.
Well, yeah, that's
so we got that going for us.
It says
but
I'm connected. I don't understand.
I don't know.
Okay, you were welcome as long as you didn't mess with Don's equipment. Goodness.
Wow. So we got the presents. We got I died, and now we had a humming in our ears, and now Don has no internet. It's definitely a night on the portal, ladies and gentlemen, where weirdness always abounds. I'm not sure what's going on, but I can't claim to ever really know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
But the call-in board is open if you've got something you want to share in our night of mayhem here on the portal. So that was really weird. The guy hit this thing, didn't clean
And,
it,
yeah.
didn't pick it up, didn't preserve anything, just wiped it off, but it's imprinted in his mind, and he decided to write a blog about it.
And he's not joking.
And
They
he's an
never put that
investigator.
out there. Yeah.
He's an
Oh,
investigator.
yeah.
So he should know.
He knows how to do things.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to disparage the guy. I don't know him at all, but I don't know. Just if you come across a new species that you accidentally crushed,
Right.
at least grab the body, whatever's left, even if it's just a hand with little fingers.
Yes, Lewis, that's true.
What?
Somebody's always trying to commune with Don. Don's not listening.
Oh man, it's just that it's the beard.
It must be.
It's the beard static. You're like supercharged. Oh, only on the portal, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, good night, Doc. Sweet dreams, and thank you for your congratulations to us.
Yes, that's awesome.
Oh, very cool.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Doc's just a really good guy. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
So, yeah, I find that story to be really disturbing and interesting at the same time. I don't know why you wouldn't collect it. Why wouldn't you?
Apparently, he's not a very famous investigator.
Well, I guess I can't
It's
say
nice
anything
to
more.
hear the story, but it'd be nice to hear that, we had DNA and...
Yeah, they had everything right there. All he had to do was
Recording
collect it.
and-
And he just rather scrub his windshield 3 or 4 times to get the goo off.
So I don't believe it.
Yeah, that's the part that is hard to believe. The humming is back.
Yes, it is.
Is it your fan?
No, it's not my fan.
Okay.
No.
We don't have any weird live mics going on. Everything else is muted. It's not coming from the laptop.
Fans aren't on.
No. I don't know what that hum is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing it out there. Humming, sorry, it's... What?
Never mind.
Oh.
Skip
okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I get for cold reading the chat.
Drop it. Don is Gandalf or Gimli from LOTR. No.
All
Zeus told me I was Merlin.
All
Zeus,
right.
it was Odin. Sorry.
Odin.
Odin, the All-Father.
So, MUFON reports of a UFO hovering over a Florida power plant. Now, this is real common, ladies and gentlemen, in the UFO reports. They either seem really interested in military installations or power plants.
Mm-hmm.
That always happens.
We talked about power plants earlier.
I'm sorry?
We talked about power plants earlier.
We did, but it was in reference to other stuff, which you'll have to get to the podcast.
If you want to hear that conversation, you have to get to the podcast and find it.
But it says, this is the MUFON report. A Florida witness at Lakeland reported watching an orb. Here's another orb, Jim, hovering over a local power plant. According to testimony in case 91498 from the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, witness reports he and his fiancée were walking the dogs near Lake Parker at 9 p.m. on April 17th of last year. I noticed what looked like an orange orb stationary in the sky. The witness stated the craft seemed to be hovering above the, the C.D. Macintosh Jr. power plant. From my perspective, I stood and watched it for a few minutes and pointed it out to my fiancée to confirm that I wasn't just seeing things. My fiancée confirmed that she could see it too and that it was not moving.
Mm-hmm.
After watching it for a couple minutes, the glowing orange orb emitted a bright white light, resembling a spotlight, from a distance for approximately 10 to 15 seconds before changing back to an orange amber glow. My fiancé and I brought our dogs into the house, and we went to the window to keep watching it, and by the time we got to the window, the object was traveling west at what looked like the speed of a commercial airplane. No blinking lights on the wings or anything that would identify the object as an airplane or helicopter could be seen on the object. So he was on a hunting mission then too, huh?
Well, he was. Now Jim said no. That was green. That was cleaning. So yeah, that maybe they were looking for someone or detected
So here, that is interesting. That's a correlation, though, right? So if they're looking for aliens that shouldn't be here, then I imagine aliens that shouldn't be there maybe go to power stations because maybe they need power. I don't know. Maybe they're doing something with the power. I don't know. But is that why they were there?
A Dyson sphere.
Well, we're nowhere near that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Again, I think it's really, really interesting. And of course, we're going by what Jim said, but
Right.
I think Jim's a pretty stand-up guy, and I can't see him just fabricating all of this. But it's really interesting to kind of know what they're doing based upon those colors.
Right.
I find that absolutely fascinating. So, there's more UFO news, though.
Wow.
An Australian reports a disc hovering over rural property.
Huh.
Now, I don't know. Is Ken around?
I haven't seen Ken tonight.
Haven't seen Ken tonight. Okay, well, Ken must be busy. But
Quicko's here, though. Quicko's here.
okay, so we'll have to know from how common are UFO sightings in Australia? Or are they the same as everywhere else? I think Australia is just such a cool place. I'd like to go there, except that everything sounds like it's going to kill you.
Just kill you.
I know their spiders are like the size of dinner plates. And
Oh, Ken's here. He says hi.
oh, there you are. All right, so Ken, I don't know how, and to anyone else that's listening from
Yeah,
from,
Aussie Tiger's here.
Yeah.
Quicko's here.
So how often are UFOs sighted? Is it more than the norm in Australia, or is it just about the same as everywhere else as far as you know? I'm not sure that any of you are real. My wife says my wife saw one over Caracas, Venezuela, and I have never seen anything like that. Okay, so Quicko says that. But yeah, I think it's okay. Jim says he thinks they're very common there, and that could very well be. I know Jim's real plugged into all that, so I hate spiders. I don't mind spiders. I just, the bigger they get, the creepier it is to me. But apparently, like, the biggest spider in the world is like a Goliath bird eater spider from South America, and those things are like the size of a dinner plate. But apparently, they're very gentle, unless you're a bird.
Unless you're a bird.
If you're a bird, they're not so gentle, but very wild. Oh, I was feeding the squirrel today, Don.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I put a peanut on my sleeve, and then put my hand up to the tree.
Right.
And he climbed down the tree and went right up my arm and ate the
Did he
peanut.
really?
Yeah, swear to God.
Wow.
Actually, it's a she. I could see, and not.
Maybe it's what you could
No,
not see.
I wasn't. I wasn't checking under the hood or anything. It's just there was like these just this series of nipples going right down the chest. So I was like, that's got to be a female.
Hey, buddy, my eyes are up here.
Yeah. And I said, hey, my nuts are here. And
Oh, God.
Peanut, come on, where's your head? Where's your head?
Yeah. You did that on purpose, though.
I was talking about the peanut. I put it on my sleeve, and I even pointed. It's right here.
Pointed at his peanuts. Aussie Tiger says, I've seen a UFO, and at one point, a UFO made news headlines. So apparently it happens down there.
Orange County says squirrel teats. Teats.
Oh, my goodness.
That word cracks me up. Teats.
Oh, boy.
I'm getting a bit punchy here.
It's just a bit punchy.
So, what did Aussie say? I'm sorry.
I've seen a UFO, and at one point, a UFO made the news headlines.
Oh, very cool. Now, was it a full craft, or are you seeing the orb kind of stuff that we've been talking about? I'm curious because what I saw when I saw the UFO was an actual saucer thing. It was like the flying saucer. It was really, really cool. But that's the one that I saw. I don't want squirrel milk. What the hell's wrong with you?
It's Jim. You're talking to Jim.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I retract that question.
It was rhetorical. Leave it alone.
I don't really even drink milk anymore, oddly enough. I like it, I guess, but I don't even know what to say now. I'm just kind of stunned.
You should probably just leave it alone.
So UFOs, Don.
Yes. We were talking about UFOs in Australia.
Well, just because of the story, but I am interested that Aussie saw one. Now, I do want to know what you saw. Oh, thank you, Gentry.
Oh, happy Easter to you too. Thank you.
Blowing you a kiss. Woo-hoo. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Gentry just moved to the top of the list.
To the what?
Top of the list.
Top of the list. Very cool.
Century.
We appreciate
God,
it.
love you people.
That is so nice. That is really cool. Did Aussie answer? I has not answered yet.
Deb wants to know how you milk a squirrel.
Oh, you can do it. You just, little.
And D says squirrel milk. That's nuts.
So I was going over what was that? Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller. He's talking about milking a cat. Oh my God!
I would say wow.
We might be the shortest lived podcast in the history of podcasting. They're gonna
Congratulations, you made it 2 episodes and got kicked out.
They're just reviewing our normal channels, going, "Oh, what did we just sign? Oh no,
Strawberry quick. Oh no.
Oh no."
Wow. My face hurts.
Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that breaks
Welcome
loose
to
every
the
once in a while.
mayhem.
That's why we call it mayhem, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness.
It's all on the table. OMG,
Including the
Pam.
milk and nuts.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to continue on here. So
someone to say
lots of orb stories though tonight.
Yes, excellent.
So here's another one from MUFON. It says British witness describes low flying triangle. Now this very well could be one of the TR-3Bs that we're considering that are potentially made by us.
Did you read the story about the UFO over Australia?
Oh wow, we got 2 calls.
Oh, hey.
Now here's the interesting. Okay. One
one
of them's
call.
me. One of them's me.
Okay.
All right. So the weird call last night came up as blocked as well.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
hi, you're on the air. I can't tell who you are, but you're on the air.
Hum, hum, hum. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you? Are you meditating?
No, I'm just mocking your hum that you guys were getting on your computers.
Oh.
This is Tony.
Oh, Tony Merkel from Confessionals.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing? Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, for sure. I was just listening to your conversation for a while, and then I had some things I had to do, and I figured I'd come back and call in. I wasn't exactly sure what you're talking about, but where you left off was talking about the UFOs with the power plant, right?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I live probably about 5 minutes from a power plant. Not even, like, if I didn't have trees that were blocking my view, I could see it. And there are constantly people saying that they see UFOs flying around those power plants, and it's just it's one of those things where it makes you wonder, like, what's going on with that, if it's actually like extraterrestrial or if it's like governmental. I don't know.
Right. And are they there because they need power? Are they somehow siphoning power off of that? That's the stuff that occurs to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got some crazy stuff going on in the show today. I mean, you guys got what do you call it? The ghost. What do you got in there? Like a ghost box or something that's telling you when something's in there?
I've got an application on, and now full disclosure, I'm not really sure what to think of the thing.
Yeah.
But it's called X Paranormal Detector, and it's an app that's been out for a long time. But it apparently uses the magnetometer and the wireless connection in order to look for EM variations, and according to what I understand about the magnetometers, they should be able to do that, but the range is really limited, so it's not as robust as like an EMF detector that you'd use in investigations. But so it has a word database built into it, but it also has the whole ghost radar thing. Now, as soon as we turned it on tonight, it said, "I died."
I died, yeah.
It was like right away. It's like, well, that's a little creepy. and then we had the presence, and then the humming in the audio. So I don't know what's going on here.
Well, and then we had the the presence. You said the presence. Yeah.
That's certainly creepy. I know when I was recording one time, a couple times creepy things happened. One thing, actually, I got on. 2 things I got while I was recording. It was like an EVP, and the one hasn't aired yet. So when it airs, it should be interesting. But the one time, I think it was probably within my first 10 episodes. I was sitting here in my office in a dark room, and doing this like 2-hour interview with this girl who just lived a completely haunted life. Ooh. And just as she started telling me how, she said, every time I talk, it doesn't like me talking about it. Every time I talk about it, it lets me know it's there. I had a stack. It's like, Don, so I used to have a really long beard, like down halfway down my chest, kind of
Yes.
like yours. It was just a big, full, bushy beard.
Right.
And one of the things that I used to do is I used to do like beard reviews for these different companies for their products.
Oh yeah.
And I had a stack of boxes in my office against the wall, and they were sitting there for months. I hadn't touched them. And all of a sudden, that whole stack comes piling down just as she said that to me, and it freaked me out. I just was, and I'm new at the show and everything. I'm sitting here looking at the boxes on the floor. I'm like, just pretend that didn't happen.
Yep. That's happened. Something's like that. Well, we've had things that we just pretend don't happen around here as well. That did happen. Oh, break time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the
All right.
break. Tony, you want to stick with us? You're welcome to.
Gotta hold the whole line now.
But we'll be right back, everybody. So don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal.
Hi, my name is Ella, and I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me, and their lies keep falling apart. But I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity. Just make sure that you're well fed. I'm not wrong yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet.
one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force, it is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeist are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Paranormal Portal, hour number 2. Don and I are here, and we are right now joined by Mr. Tony Merkel of the Confessionals, who's joined us by phone. A rare honor. Thank you so much for being here, brother.
Absolutely. I don't get to check you guys out live all the time, but when I get a chance to, I absolutely enjoy it.
You know, it's just awesome hearing that you're listening. That's just awesome.
I know, it's like, really? And then you start thinking, oh, God, what did I say? So,
no, you guys do a great job. You do a great job. And it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a chill talk show where you guys just talk paranormal stuff, and it's real relaxed. And that's what I like, man. It's just real laid back, and it's easy to listen to. It's really cool.
Excellent.
oh, thank you, brother. So, now, did you have any other experiences after the boxes fell?
Yeah.
Did anything stick around, or was it just kind of a one-time deal?
Ever since I've been doing the show, weird things have been happening, and I just don't know if it's just me being hypersensitive or what, you know. But there's been weird things, and recently my wife. Now we have a 16-month-old at home, and so he keeps her pretty busy. So I think she can kind of like sometimes get absent-minded, maybe. But
Sure.
She swears sometimes things are like teleporting in our house. Like she'll be like, you know, I swear I put phone down on my dresser and it wasn't there, and I found it in our son's room, you know. And so
Cool.
you know, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna need more than just that, because you know, like I said, she's constantly running around. So I don't know if it's something paranormal. It's just mom being absent-minded, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that, though. You know, I mean, the whole idea of magnetism and stuff. So when you're discussing something, you're creating an energy that could serve as a beacon to some of this stuff. I mean, that thought's crossed my mind, because we have just some nights of just strange weirdness, like Don's
Like
computer just
I
disconnected
can't
again.
even get in my computer now.
Yeah, his computer's just kind of DOA right now, and we're not sure what's going on. But it's just been a strange night here on the show. But I think doing these shows could be kind of bringing it to us.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can be and stuff. I mean, I don't know. Like I do the show and everything, but I try to really keep a level head as to what's going on, at least at my house stuff. I don't ever want to overreact to things.
Right. Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. The one time I was sitting here, and I'm in my studio right now, and I was editing audio and getting a show together, and it was probably, I'd say, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I hear this tap in my office. Like, what is that? And I turn around and I look at the window, and the cord on the window is just bouncing back and forth, and tapping against the window. And I'm like, what the heck? I know the window's not open. It's wintertime. And I got a little creeped out, and I stood up and I walked over to the window, and I'm standing right in front of this cord that's just tapping against the window, tap, tap, tap. And I was just like, now I'm a more spiritual kind of guy and stuff, and I just was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna do what everybody on the show says they do, and they claim the name of Jesus, and I go, in the name of Jesus, and I yell, I smack it real hard, and I realized that the air vent was blowing the cord. It wasn't paranormal at all.
All of a sudden, your furnace shuts off.
You're like,
Tony just exercised his furnace.
that's what that humming was.
It was. I was just like, I'm kind of glad nobody was there to see it. But then when I started thinking about it, I was like, that's kind of funny. So I figured I'd share it with you.
That's awesome, brother. It's just it's a great honor to hear from you. We're fans of yours as well. So we're just honored that you're checking us out.
For sure, man. For sure. You guys are doing a great job. And I'll tell you what, the energy that you guys put into this show on a nightly basis is it's something else, because I mean, I do a weekly show here, and the time and effort I put into that show, I'm thinking, man, these guys do it live every day. Wow. That's seriously, anybody who's listening and stuff, it takes a lot of energy to do what you guys do, and I really do appreciate it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'll give Brent his props. He does the 7 days a week. I at this time only can donate 2 nights to these, and then but I contribute other ways as well. So
you do.
But Brent's really working hard, and props where props belong. So there you go.
It's a team. It's family here. But yeah, I mean, it's when you do something you love, you're never working a day in your life, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is.
I agree.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I've been doing this for over 2 years now, and I haven't missed a week yet. And it's like one of those things where you think it would wear you down, but when you really do love doing something, it just takes over, and it's awesome. Before I run out of here though, on you guys, I'll share with you guys a real UFO story that I actually happened to me probably last year sometime, if you want to hear it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Go for it.
Cool. So I drive tractor trailer, and I've seen, I guess, 2 UFOs in my lifetime that I can remember. One was when I was a kid, and my mom confirms that one, and then one that happened last year, and it actually happened a few times last year. So I'm driving down the same highway. It's the Turnpike here in Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. And Philadelphia's been getting a lot of UFO sightings over the last year or so. Mm-hmm. And I'm driving down a Turnpike, and you have the Philadelphia International Airport, which is a huge airport. And if you're not familiar with the area, you see the planes coming into the airport, and they're perfectly evenly spaced every night, because I guess that's air traffic control.
Sure.
And so you get used to seeing that. And if you're not from the area, you would think those are UFOs. You're like, oh my God, we're getting invaded.
Right.
But I'm going down the Turnpike, and I see this odd flashing blue and red light. And I'm thinking at first it's just a plane, and don't pay much attention to it until I'm like 2 miles away, and I realize I'm actually gaining on this thing, and it hasn't moved at all. Mm-hmm. And literally, as I'm watching it, I'm actually passing it. It's about 200 feet off the ground, off outside my driver's side window, and I'm passing by it, and I actually can look up at it. And it was in the shape, when I first saw it, I thought it was in the shape of a boomerang. Uh-huh. And to more correctly describe it, it was actually in the shape of like a check mark. It was like one side was shorter than the other, and you could see the silhouette up in the sky, but it was a legit something that was just hovering there, and it was in the shape of a check mark. And then I saw it, like, I think it was like 3 other times within a month or two span last year, and I haven't seen it since. But that's something it was in a very populated area, and it was something like, I just couldn't explain it. And then I saw in an article that it was a Pennsylvania, online magazine thing, and they were just listing the UFO sightings that were reported in Pennsylvania, and a lot of them were in Philadelphia. And then one particular one, this guy who is from Croydon, Pennsylvania, which is right near the area I saw this. I actually drive my truck in Croydon a lot. He said that he was taking his dog out one night, and he saw this boomerang-shaped craft hovering over the trees, just going real slow over the trees. And it was just, for me, it was confirmation that I wasn't going crazy. I did see this thing,
Wow, that's intense. Jeez.
Yeah.
How big would you say it was?
It was fun. I don't know. It was big enough that it was 200 feet off the ground, and I could see it very clearly. I guess if I was up close to it and stuff, it would have to be at least 50 feet wide, maybe. Oh, wow. I would say probably about 50 feet wide.
Wow.
That is really cool. Wow. I wonder what's going on in Pennsylvania, brother.
Too much stuff. We got everything going on here. The Dogman sightings are on the rise. Bigfoot obviously is a hot spot here. And then the UFOs really in the Philadelphia area have been really popping up. They've been seeing a lot of fireballs in South Philly in broad daylight getting filmed.
Wow.
I think you can find those videos on YouTube. It's pretty intense.
Hey, can I ask you a quick question about the Dogman sightings? Now, are the Dogman sightings increasing, or is it just more people are actually reporting?
That's actually a good question, and that's probably something that I really don't have enough
Sure.
to answer. But it seems like they're increasing now. I don't know if it's an increase because people are more aware of them and
Right.
they're more comfortable coming out and talking about it. But I'd say probably since 2015-ish, there's been a lot of people talking about seeing this Dogman in Pennsylvania. It got to the point because when I first heard about the Dogman, I was like, I don't know, and I was. When I first started all this stuff, I was like a Bigfoot guy.
Right.
That was it. And then as I started looking into more things, I started seeing the similarities and the whole Dogman thing. Eventually, you just got to say, well, not everybody's either lying or crazy. They're seeing something.
Right.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
and I've interviewed a few guys that have seen it in Pennsylvania. Some of them didn't want to be on the show. The one guy was on the show, but it's something that just seems to be very on the rise. And the guy that was on the show, I think his happened back in like the 80s or something like that.
Sure.
But it's definitely something that is just very odd. And I don't know what those things are. Like, you can try explaining Bigfoot and Sasquatch as maybe a normal creature if you want, or something. But I don't necessarily go along those lines. I think it's probably something along the paranormal line because of the different kinds of reports that come through. Some people, report something that's so natural, but then some people say it did paranormal type things. At some point you say, well, maybe the creature itself is paranormal. And I think maybe Dogman's in the same category as that.
Well, and funny mention that because I remember there was an Art Bell show way back when, and he was talking to somebody at Skinwalker Ranch, and they were out there at night with night vision goggles, and they said they could not see it through with their naked eye, but through the night vision they could see a portal open up, and what they believed was a Dogman come through.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really funny you say the portal thing because what episode was that? It wasn't too long ago. I interviewed a guy who I know personally, and he does a lot. He's from Ohio, but he does a lot of camping in Pennsylvania, the northwestern Pennsylvania, the Allegheny National Forest. And he and several other people that were there that night have confirmed that there was some kind of portal that opened up. I think he actually called it a vortex. It looked more like a vortex, but inside the vortex portal, whatever you want to call it, there was this face that came through, and they had a lot of Bigfoot activity going on that night. But that, in itself is crazy to see a vortex portal in the forest.
Right.
And then when you see a face coming through it, I wouldn't be going back.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
And they're always like, hey, you should come on out with us and stuff. And every time they go out, they come back with a creepier story. I'm like, you guys want me to go out with you? Stop telling me these stories.
No, yeah, definitely. Wow. That's awesome.
That's really awesome. Cool. Very cool, brother. I'm just so thrilled you called in tonight and that you've been a part of the show now. It's a real pleasure, and I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. Well, keep up the great work, and I'll continue to listen.
Oh, awesome.
All right, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Take care. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Merkel of the Confessionals podcast. That's excellent.
Excellent stuff.
He does an amazing show, and he also has a YouTube channel, and you can find it by looking for the Confessionals here on YouTube, but he's uploaded a bunch of his podcasts to the YouTube platform, as does Wes with the Sasquatch Chronicles, and they're just they're amazing shows. Yeah. They really are. I've listened to so many of them, and it's just really an honor. I don't know what to say. I don't know.
Well, and Many Musings in chat says, I've been wondering if there is a weakening in the veil between dimensions or worlds or something lately. There's an increase in sightings of all kinds of things. And we absolutely agree. We wonder the same things, but we believe that the veils are thinning.
So here's the thing that I think, I personally think that's going on, and I can only speak of my own ideas or concepts on the thing, but it seems to me that we're in a real transitory state, for lack of a better term, and I think that whether you define it as frequency or whether you define it as an increased energy or whatever, but it seems like we're in a state of flux, and
Yes.
things are changing in this world, and clearly, just by watching current events, you can see like something is supercharged in the air now, and I think it's just our natural reaction to this state of increased frequency or vibration that we're in. And I think that if anything, what is changing could very well be inside of us. I don't think that it's the world around us that is changing as much as our ability or increased perception of the world around us because of this flux or change that we're in.
Right.
It just seems like something really big is happening, and I can only speak to that like on an emotional or intuitive level, but it just feels like right now is a really important time. Like, I'm talking like important, like we may one day tell our grandkids that we were here when this was happening. Like, it's that kind of important, and it's all just intuitive for me. I can't say why I feel that way. It's just, I just feel something right now is changing, and we are changing within this whole
Right.
dynamic. And part of the reason we're possibly seeing more things and hearing about more things is because we are adapting into this new energy frequency, perhaps.
This is kind of weird. So many musings just said, could this be a combination of planetary magnetic shift combined with all of the artificial electromagnetic fields out the technology creates? And then right underneath that, William Bennett says, could it have something to do with our magnetic pole migrating quicker and causing the instability of our magnetic fields?
Okay, well, I can answer that. Yes, it could.
Yeah, definitely.
Both of you, it could.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to know, right? But there just seems to be something really profound going on now for the last several years. We've seen so much, I don't know, agitation. We're seeing so much agitation in our politics, in our interpersonal communication relations, in our global relations. There's this heightened irritation, and I don't think that it means that this is a negative change. I just think it means
Something's changing.
Something's changed.
It is
and
changing, yeah.
People don't know why they're so emotionally supercharged right now, but it's just something seems to be going on, ladies and gentlemen. And we have another caller here, and this is our very own Diane, who is calling us. Miss Diane Swagger, you're on the air.
Hi there.
Hi
Love
there.
you. Hugs.
Hugs and love to you too. How was things tonight?
Well, I wanted to say that I am, first of all, people talking about the chemtrails. I have found that we are cleaning up the skies faster than ever now. When I ask for help, they get clean very fast now. So fast I can't even boot up my camera and take a picture of it getting cleaned.
Okay.
So, and I have been asking the sylphs for help, as somebody suggested, and that seems to be working. That was one thing I was going to say. So there's help for your chemtrails.
Good.
You might be able to get that on a bigger basis or something. But every time I see them, I've been able to clear them now.
Good.
Secondly, I wanted to say about what you were saying, really important. I think it's true. We are getting more sensitive to this. We're going through a big shift within ourselves. But also, it is also true that, as I understand it, the partitions, and if you go by this on a kind of an electronic sort of a technical basis, you could say the partitions between the different realities, dimensions, realms, is getting disrupted by our magnetic field being disrupted. Because, as I understand it, the magnetic field is the division.
Oh, okay.
So it is partitioning off. So as it's getting disrupted, we could be seeing the results of that, but the fact that we can actually see it now would be because we're changing,
Mm-hmm.
and as the frequency goes up, we'll be able to see more. So I think there'll come a time when people like me won't be the only ones able to see things like that on a
Right.
regular basis. I can foresee a time when that's going to be quite common. And as it becomes more common, there may be a need for a lot of us to be ready to handle the people that aren't quite ready for that.
Right. Very true.
So it's probably a combination of both things. But now, as things are shifting and it's getting kind of weird, it's getting weird for us. I think it's getting weird for the creepier elements too. Because as people can see them more, they're not as hidden. They're not going to be as hidden.
That stands to reason.
It's going to be harder to hide. And I think that's actually going to work in our favor, because all of these things that people say, oh, that can't possibly exist, I think they're going to find out, oh, yes, it can possibly exist.
Right. Right.
And then actually maybe be able to do something about it. Because right now, one of the things we're fighting is not just weird stuff, it's also ignorance, people's ignorance, and lack of feeling like they can even talk about it or anything. When it becomes to the point where you can't ignore it, then we're going to have to talk about it and maybe get something done
Right.
about it all.
Very true.
So I think it's hopeful. But yeah, the magnetic field shifting is probably going to do a lot of things. If it is the way it's explained, is if we didn't have it at all, we'd be able to see everything at once. It'd be like, boy, that would be really shocking.
Right.
Or at least that's the way I understand it. I don't know if that's a complete account of how it works, but as best as my understanding can see it. The other thing is, I honestly think, Don, somebody's trying to get in touch with you.
I really have
Honestly.
no doubt about it. I just, I'm just one of those people that don't seem to be. Apparently, I'm not as receptive as some things would like me to be, I guess.
Takes a lot to get through that beard.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know.
Somebody wants to talk to you, and I feel that very strongly, and I really think maybe
Well, here's
maybe it would be, if you could get through that, maybe it would be another level for you. But go ahead.
well, what I was going to say is a couple weeks ago, I think it was either after a Saturday show or a Wednesday show. It was about 2 weeks ago, though. I was driving home, and I live on this dark, windy road, and I'm coming up around one of the bends, and I look over, and there's this light just off the road, just up ahead a little bit, and I go, and a truck passes me, whew, and then I go around the bend, and I notice that the lights are coming out of a ditch. I stopped, turned around, came back. It's a car in the ditch, right? So I pull over. And I say, hey, dude, you all right? And he says, yeah, the truck's going to go get a tow chain, and he'll have me out of here in a minute. I said, I'll get you out right now. I got a 30-foot tow strap in the back of my pickup. Of course, I live in Idaho. You need one. So we pull him out. We go on our way. And then I think it was the Saturday show. Then Brent sent an email, and that's how we got connected with Revolver. And then ever since then, and then I started doing Paisley's show. I started doing the production on Paisley's show. And ever since that night, that Friday night, I've been seeing the numbers 333 and 1111 consistently for the last 2 weeks. I know something's either paying attention to me and trying to get me to go somewhere, or, it's that pattern thing, our brain's trying to find patterns. Well, however, it comes out. But everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks since I pulled that guy out of the ditch has just been, oh my God, it's been, it's just been getting better and better. And I just keep seeing 333 1111 all the time, literally everywhere. It's crazy. So
That's
maybe
great because, and I'll give you a tip off here too. There is a site. There are several sites that deal with
angel
the
numbers.
meaning of seeing numbers and especially repeating numbers.
Yep, he's been looking those up. But
Yep.
Diane, we're gonna have to go to break, and then we got a couple other
Yeah, we got a
calls
couple
on
other
the other
calls.
side.
Wow.
But thank you so much for calling in, my lady. It's always wonderful to hear from you.
Okay, have a good one.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Dee.
Take care.
Love ya.
Love.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the
Hold
break,
that
and then we're going to
line.
get to back to the callers that are on the line as soon as we can. So don't go away for the last half hour of the Paranormal Portal coming up next. Where's that beat?
There it
is. There's that beat.
You beat it to it.
I beat the beat. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, 1/2 hour of our extravaganza to go for the night of the Paranormal Portal Mayhem edition. Hope you're having a great night. Right away, we've got a caller on the line, and this is area code 360. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
We're doing wonderful.
Can't you tell?
Well, let me tell you, I've been sitting here just cracking up. There are just so many little funny words that are coming through. And sometimes when your computer starts humming, it gets blocked out. So every now and then you skip a word or two. And by the time it's done, I'm like, well, he sounds fresh alien to me.
Right on.
It's working out perfectly.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
I decided to call you all
Mm-hmm.
and share a little story.
Wonderful.
And it's actually my first time. It's been a long time since this has happened. I'm almost 60. And I did a lot of work with Dolores Cannon. I don't know if you're familiar with her, who she is, and her background. Are either of you familiar?
I know the name Dolores Canyon. I can't for the life of me right at this moment remember what she does. But please fill in the blank.
Okay. So, absolutely. She was, she died about 7 years ago. She passed away from a car accident. But she was one of the first pioneers who led the way in for a deepened induction into hypnoregression therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas psychologists at that time were afraid to go only to a certain level. They were afraid of what was going to happen outside of that. And would they be able to bring the person back to a normal state of being without any harm left over? Well, since her work, her and her husband actually started paving the way. And when they first started out, and this was back in the 60s, in the late 60s, in the early 70s, when she first started out with her husband, who incidentally also was in a car accident and left in a chair, so he was not able to complete his work, and she followed suit. Some of their first subjects were like, losing weight, quit smoking, simple little inductions. Until one in particular person that they had in front of them that they were able to take into a very, very deep state of hypnotic induction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And in that induction, they were able to find this person in between states of life. As far as like incarnation, she was in the esoteric state, the spiritual state, and so that paved the road right there.
Wow.
And so she designed a technique, which is actually taught out in public to this day. She designed a technique to teach people how to take their subjects into those states of being to clear past karma effect from past lives, et cetera, et cetera. She's had conversations with people all over the world. She's was world renowned. Ran into subjects. One of her famous ones was conversations with Nostradamus, Jesus in the Essenes, the time that where Jesus had walked and was with a sect of people called the Essenes in Cormoran. And so there are various different things, tons and tons and tons and tons of alien inductions. I mean, it's almost like, the old sock at that point when you've had thousands of them. It's like, okay, yay, another one, at that point.
Sure.
But there were several books that she came out with. One of them that I'm in, which is called The Keepers of the Garden.
Okay.
And our stories of those of us who, some of us have actually met after the book released. Some of us have met in person as a reunion of a union that had never met, which is kind of fascinating in itself. So my personal story, I was living in Arkansas at the time, and I was going to a facility that was called Ozark Research Institute that was ran by a Harold and Gladys McCoy. And there was a lot of people that came there to do specific works with modalities, working with energy, increasing enlightenment, psychic abilities, you name it, it was there. Came from all over the world. You know, I mean, you had everybody at your disposal.
Okay.
Super awesome thing.
Yeah.
Well, I met a lady there who was doing Reiki, lots of fun. She invited me to her house. We were going to do some work. So I show up, and as I'm sitting or laying on the table, she's standing at my head, and 10 minutes into it, we're gone. We are not there simultaneously together. We are no longer there. And this story is actually in the book, Keepers of the Garden, and the continued story is in her two books, the Convoluted Universe 1 and Convoluted Universe 2. So back to the story, she's got her hands on my head, and we're gone. The next thing I know, I'm on one table, she's on another table, and we have been on top of us, not literally, but standing next to us.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The interesting part, yeah, and it kind of goes into detail. Again, this is my very first time publicly sharing this story. So I'm a little nervous. I'm talking super fast. I feel like I'm on hyperspeed here.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Just kind of breathe it through and give it up.
You're doing wonderful.
Well, thank you. So anyway, as we're laying on the table, lots of specifics that I did not need to go into a hypno-regression to remember. Oh. I remembered them very clearly when we came back into our one selves, back into the room. But they were asking lots of questions. And I remember there was no probing, but there was a lot of feeling. Right. There were no thumbs, no opposable thumbs, but there were four fingers and almost like a suction pad, if you will. It's the best way I know how to describe this, on the end of their fingers. And they were down our legs, on our arms, on our head, the back of our head, especially going up the neck into to the very base of the back, almost. It felt like there was an energy zapping into the middle of the brain cortex, which was a very, very, very strange feeling altogether. It was a tingling sensation. And when it happened, I'll never forget this. There was such a brightness. It was like everything became really bright and intense. And there was a lot that we were able to see simultaneously all at once. It was like a lot of the stories just happened at once. There was no time separation whatsoever. Wow. It felt like we were only there for a couple of minutes, but from the time frame that we were completely gone was over 4 hours.
Wow.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. So also with that being said, when they were done asking, and I'm not going to go into all the questions, I'm going to try to make the details short, sweet, and quick. When we were back into our human physical form, neither one of us could actually sit up. It took quite a long time for us to sit up because our bodies were swollen, literally 4 times the amount of what our normal size is. And come to find out, that's not an unusual experience because it takes a lot of water for them to be able to do this, to do like the teleportation. Oh, okay. So you swell up, you can't move. If you try to bend your legs, you feel like your skin's going to rip in half, you know? So it took us about 15 minutes. We're both crying. I'm more screaming and she's crying. Oh, my God. I was I was panicked. I can't begin to tell you how much I was panicked. Oh, and so when our bodies finally came back into a wholeness, we both got up, we hugged each other, we ran into the house. She happened to know Dolores Cannon from previous meetings at various different events. I had never met the woman. She called her. Dolores got on the phone with me and asked me a ton of questions to validify my experience. She has so much experience in dealing with people that have gone through particular scenarios like this that she knew what to ask. So she went through her regime of questions, validated that our experience was very real, had us come over the next day together. We went over, and she started the process. Now, the one thing about Dolores is that she always records her inductions.
Okay.
So fortunately, I have all this on recording, and she gave me a copy of it.
Wow.
So in the induction, when she took me down, some of it I can remember and some of it I cannot.
Okay.
What I can remember is the fact that those particular beings did not come through, but other entities did. And there were 5 in total.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5 beings that came through talked about that scenario and why it happened. And the most important part of this whole entire process was there was a common denominator that happens to a lot of people, is that the human race is losing its compassion and disconnecting to reality.
Mm-hmm.
And reality is not necessarily what you physically see in the moment. Reality is your works and your preparation of self, including into all dimensional levels. So what's happening is they are utilizing people that innately have this compassion that they might not even realize inside of themselves, but they vibrate at almost at a different frequency, a vibrational level.
Okay.
And that vibrational level is easy to ascertain and pick out from those entities. So in the recording, and trust me, I'll listen to this over and over and over and over and over again. And in the recording, it talked about utilizing the compassion, the reinitiating the love factor of the center of self. Otherwise, we are going to lose out to a very strong entity energy that's out there that is extremely real, but dismissing anything good.
Oh, wow.
And I don't think I need to really go into definition about that. I'm thinking that everybody that's on this channel right now and who's listening can figure that out on their own.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so I was a big part of this along with my friend, and we went through this together. And I feel that there was something, as you guys were talking, ironically, today has been a really interesting day. It's also Easter Sunday, or weekend. And as you guys were talking, this feeling just kept coming over me. It's time, it's time, it's time.
Okay.
And I'm like kicking and screaming, going, hell no, no way, not doing it.
Aww.
I need to preserve my being, you know?
Sure.
I said it was bad enough putting in the books. Fortunately, my name is not attached to it. And, yay, I can deal with that.
Right.
But to really come out on the air with this, so here I am. And I'm thinking, why is this needing to be happening? Well, the woman that was on the phone with you earlier really hit some very fine-tuned points about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to kind of skirt tail on that just a little bit,
Sure.
along with my experience and what's going on today. And some of the things that a lot of people are talking about, what they're feeling, the disconnection. They feel that, how come they're not feeling this? Or why are they getting only glimpses of this or glimpses of that? Well, there's good reason for that, because those are knocks on the door saying, hey, okay, look, you are being reminded innately who you are. You are experiencing this human experience, but you have more power into it. And therefore, it's time to come together, to unionize, to bring strength and energy, because there's a lot of force out there, not that we're fighting or in war with, that we have to neutralize. And there's a major difference on that. You're not, holding up a sword and a shield and attacking it. You're neutralizing it, because that energy has no more to gain from that other than the ability to be neutralized. Is that force real? Yes. Is every force real? Yes. So thought is energy, energy is thought. And so the completion of that through my inductions was pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to what comes out of your mouth, what you project. Because what happens is simultaneously, if you send a projection out there that is not catered to the innate balance that you are inside, you have just now added to and made that problem a little bit worse to handle. So now it's time to reconnect remove all, we've got a lot of media, we've got a lot of people out there that are really working hard on disconnection. Governments, situations, riots, opinions, and you know what I'm talking about, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. So all that disconnection, I mean, even in media, even in shopping, it's immediate gratification.
Yeah.
So all that's being penetrated to us left and right now, what are we left with? Not much. And so it is really a very, very important time in life. We've got a lot that we're working with right now. As much as we see in the paranormal activity, no surprise here. It's, in fact, to me, it's so normal. It's like anybody that thinks different is, why would you think that? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, scratch the old head and rub the chin and go, But anyway, so I feel that it's an importance right now of people like yourself being able to utilize your station in paranormal activity and investigating it deeper, going, so what is this bringing about? Yes, there are flying objects out there. Yes, there are entities out there. But what's the point of it? What's the point of saying, okay, we've got these things out there, but what are we going to do about it? What is the point about it? And filtering through and going a step beyond, taking it to levels that, okay, one of you were talking about that you're in Idaho. Which one was that?
We're both in Idaho.
Yeah, I'm sitting right next to him.
Yep, we're in the
You're
same
in
room. Yep.
Okay. So Idaho actually has an incredible vortexes, beautiful vortexes there. It's almost like Idaho is almost like how would you want to put that? An infancy in energy. Not a lot of people have come there. There's been a lot of Indian tribes that have gone there and really put in some incredible, wonderful energy. So you've got this amazing vortex to work with. And so what are you doing with it, and are you pushing it out and trailing it? And I feel that with my experience and knowing what I was told in my abduction, and I am going to go ahead and use that word. Mm-hmm. I've been afraid of that word for, oh my God, so many years. Yeah. But now I'm going to utilize it in this context because I think it's important. And so within that abduction, I learned a lot and got to see everything at once. And when I saw that, now, does it mean that I got to see, in biblical statements, people talk about the end of times. And there are so many different old writings, like the Chinese have what they call the day writings. And then you've got the Judean Christian, and you've got this, and you've got that, the Torah, blah, 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 blah. And everybody talks about the last days and times. And what does that mean towards them? Well, the bottom common denominator in all understanding of that, and what I was shown, is the connection is always through love. Now, it's not a religious thing. It is just an energy. The energy is formed mathematically, and mathematically, if you were to look at all alphabets, and if you were to look at the DNA code through back in all alphabets that's ever been created, the DNA code matches alphabetically. And alphabetically, our DNA spells love eternal. Look it up.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's cool.
Fascinating information.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. So I really don't have much more to add to that.
Well, that's just amazing.
I wanted to, touch in on my personal experience and give that out there. But the message of what came about with it, to me, was the most important.
Well, I can't tell you how honored I am that you chose to show it here or to share it here.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's amazing. What you've experienced is, I'm sure it was plenty terrifying. It was, but the beauty of it is the message that you're left with, and I think it's a good
Absolutely.
one. Yeah, it's very strong.
That's
it's very powerful, and for all of the trials that it caused you, that you can walk away with it with such beautiful words and a beautiful message to share with the rest of us, I think is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Well, I thank you guys so very much for what you're doing. Ironically, I had subscribed to you almost, oh my God, it seems like maybe a month ago or something, and had no idea that today would find the trail to where it's led to be here now to do this. I did not see this coming, honestly.
That's the beauty of it, though.
In fact, had you asked me when I was having my tea this morning, I would have looked at you and go, yeah, right.
That's not in my plans. That's not in the tea leaves today.
No, not this day, not any day.
Wow.
But, you sometimes just got to go with that motion, and you've got to do the right thing, even though you feel that it puts you on Jump Street. Sometimes it doesn't matter, because the ones who need to capture it are going to capture it. And the ones who don't can shelf it, put it on a shelf. Wait till a later date when you need it, and then pull it down and remember that information. And that's the best advice I can give.
Well, thank you so much for using this as your forum to come out with your message. And I'm, as I said, I'm absolutely honored, and I mean that sincerely.
Absolutely.
It's a courageous thing to do, but again, I think it's something we all needed to hear. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to and sharing with you guys. And you know what? I'm in your team. This is wonderful.
Excellent.
And I'm happy to be a supporter. Yes. So take care. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you, and good night, and thank you so much.
Wow. That's...
Thank you.
And that's part of what we're here for, though, is to help people, identify what's going on in their life, or identify what's happened and help move if we can.
Yeah, or to be just a forum for them to have a voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's excellent.
That's awesome.
We got one more call left on the board and just a few minutes left of the show. So let's get to this quick. And this is area code 480. You're on the air.
Don't you recognize me? I'm the Cadbury Bunny.
I do. I'm waiting for my eggs.
How you doing? This is Jess.
Good, Jess.
As always, I just wanted to say hi and wish you guys a happy Easter.
Oh,
I was just curious. On a lighter note, have you guys ever had your auras read?
In a manner of speaking, yeah, but not really. No. Not in a traditional sense, no. I've had people comment on my aura, but I have not had it read.
I was just curious as to if you ever had yours read. I had mine read a long time ago, but it fluctuates, like the energy and stuff fluctuates.
Sure, it does. Yep. Well, I mean,
so it's interesting.
Right. It's
when you get yours read and you get a picture of yourself with all these colors.
Right.
Wow.
It is. Yeah. That's what I understand. But no, I've never had that done. But it sounds like it'd be kind of fun to check it out. I don't even know anybody that reads auras, to be honest with you.
There's some fee there, but it is interesting. What they read into it and say and stuff. I was just curious if you guys you never talked about auras or anything, so.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, we've never really talked about auras before.
Well, no, but it's honestly it's a fascinating subject, and it's very esoteric and profound. But I can't claim to know enough about auras to talk about them too much. I know it's an energy field we're surrounded by, and but I personally believe that our auras are probably as big as the universe. We just have this more focused energy right around us. But I think that auras, in some ways, the term aura is misleading because it still implies separation, and I honestly don't believe that we're separate at all. That we are interconnected throughout the.
Oh no, it's not. It's not about separation. It's just your energy at that point, your energy field at that time.
Yeah.
What's going on and all that.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I mean,
like you have different colors.
Yeah.
It's nothing about separation or anything. And another thing, Don talked about the numbers. Maybe a higher power is trying to tell him something, and they're trying to give you a message and get your attention. You'll just have to find out what that is.
Yeah. But Jess, we're about down to a minute, but thank you so much for calling.
Thanks
it's
for
great to
calling.
hear from you.
Absolutely.
Happy Easter, my lady.
Happy Easter. Bark, bark, bark.
All right, see you now.
Bye, Jess.
All right, everybody, that about wraps up the show for tonight. Stick around for Jimmy Jean Into the Microcosm coming up next. He and Rio will be lighting up the airwaves in just moments from now. But Don, anything in closing?
Just once again, thank you. Please join us if you can with the Revolver podcast. Hopefully, we'll have something up Monday, maybe next Monday. We're getting it. We're getting it worked. Paisley Wild, spaces between
Poetry.
Paisley Wild, the spaces between poetry. That's 2 words. That's 3 words we've gotten today.
Yep.
And 2 presences. But anyhow, I digress. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, there's spirits present too, so they're here to wish. Oh, it, like converged right on my laptop too. All right, guys. I have no idea what's going on here, but it's the portal. What can you do? We love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. I'll be back tomorrow night with some bedtime stories, but I love you all and sweet dreams.
Good night, all.